The Lakers will be the 7th seed and face the Grizzlies in the first round after that OT win last night. Guys, you brought up Dillon Brooks. Here's what I think you were referring to. Before last night's game, the Grizzlies guard told the commercial appeal, quote, "I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The legacy is there. First time back in the playoffs. Knock him out right away in the first round. It'll test us good." Wow. All right, Shannon, who wins this series and in how many games?
I don't really have a problem with Dillon Brooks. You know, he understands what LeBron is and what that would mean for his team. That would give them a boost of confidence to knock out LeBron and Anthony Davis and the Lakers. Who has two better players? You can make the case for KD and Book, but it's hard to say there are two other better players on either side.
Agreed.
Than LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Agreed.
And so if we can go ahead and dispense them earlier, kind of like what Boston did. Boston said, we're not ducking anybody because we probably have to see Brooklyn at some point in time anyway. Might as well go ahead and get it over with. So with that being said, Skip, I think it's going to be a very, very hard-fought series. There's no love lost between these two teams.
Nope.
You remember what last year is that when the Memphis came here and they started talking, and LeBron said, man, y'all going to stop all that talking. Y'all going to stop disrespecting me.
He did.
And so they kept it going. And so I'm going to take the Lakers. I'm going to say it's going to be, I'm going to say Lakers in 7. The Lakers get something they really, really needed. Rest. Skip, they don't play till Sunday.
It's a huge deal.
Man,
That's why that was huge last
Yes.
night. That's why LeBron needed to play those 5 minutes, because now he gets all the way until, Sunday.
Sunday.
It would be noon this
here.
time.
Yes.
Okay. So on his body clock, he gets until noon Sunday before he's got to go.
He got to gear it up again. And so I think that's going to be big. Memphis has been out for an entire week because they haven't played since Sunday. So there is such a thing as too much rest.
I would agree.
I think the Lakers will get just enough rest. Bron really needs it. AD gets to rest that foot. Guys, they get to refocus. So I'm going to take the Lakers in 7 games. I'm going to trust LeBron in a game 7 over anybody else.
Okay. I'm going to go Lakers in 6. I've been saying this all week because I haven't been quite as sold on Memphis this year as I was last year. They have lost Brandon Clark, who was huge.
Yeah.
They have lost Steven Adams, who is a veteran presence who can give them big, strong man minutes.
Oh, yeah. He give you 10 and 10. You book him down for double-digit rebounds every night.
Okay. Gone and gone. Ja has been through the mill with all his off-field stuff. And if you look closely at what's happened, they finished 51-31, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Last year, they were 56 wins. So they're 5 wins short.
Right.
If you look hard at what Ja has done, remember, he won most improved last year because he upped his three-point shooting from, it was 30%. We're going back 2 years. He went all the way up to 34.4. That is a huge leap.
Right.
Where he worked his tail off in the lab in the offseason to teach himself to take and make threes at a fairly high. It's not a great rate, but it's way better than it was.
Right.
Well, guess what? He reverted. And now he's 30.7, so he's almost back to the 30.3 that he was.
Well, you know what, Skip? I'm thinking before you go any further, I'm not so sure that he's ever going to be a great three-point shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, 35% might be his max.
It just might be. Okay. So this team, this year especially, has embraced the villain role.
Yeah.
Dillon Brooks especially has really embraced the villain role, and he's trying to talk it before he walks it.
Correct.
And he is out there before every big game, every big series. He's taking shots. He's on record. He's calling out the opposition. He's putting himself on blast. Like, I got to live up to the checks that I'm writing here.
Correct.
He keeps writing checks. He was fairly respectful of LeBron, but he also was on record saying, I wouldn't mind playing him. He's trying to tell you, I ain't afraid of no LeBron, because I ain't afraid of nobody. That's what he's saying, despite the legacy. This team has embraced the villain role. This team wants to be sort of the modern-day equivalent of the bad boy Pistons, that whole idea. And they all play to this.
Right.
Ja went through hell off the floor. I thought he was very fortunate to sort of skate out of it as quickly as he did.
I agree.
So he's back, and yet now there's going to be growing focus, spotlight on him and them, because it's a little bit of the Brandon Miller syndrome of what we just watched in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, the NCAA is very different than the NBA, but the NCAA, the last thing it wanted was for Brandon Miller in Alabama to be cutting the nets down after his off-the-field issue, right?
Yep.
Okay. Would that apply to some degree to Ja and the Grizzlies that our commissioner, the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, would not want to see them? It's a little different. You could also argue that would play into the appeal of the game.
I think the thing is, Skip, remember when Tom Brady went through what he went through, he got suspended the first 4 games. He ended up having the trophy to Tom anyway in 2016. So sometimes you might not be able to write the ending that you necessarily want as a league.
You know, that's an interesting comparison. Again, I didn't think Brady cheated. It's possible Belichick knew what was going on with the ball people, but whatever. We could go on and on about that. And Brady fought it and won 1 round of court and then finally said, the season's upon us. I can't fight it in the appeals court. I'm losing it anyway. I give up. I cease and desist. I take my, 4 games to start that season. Then he roars back and wins it. Will Ja roar back and win it? Maybe. He's been playing at a high level since he came back. He didn't miss a beat because he didn't miss a whole lot of time. Right? And it wasn't that he got injured. He was just, I guess he was suspended. I don't even know what he was. He was on hiatus. I don't know. But here he comes back. Okay, so what do we know about this year's Memphis? They're not great offensively. They're ranked 15th offensively. I'm sorry, 14th offensively. But they are second in the NBA in defense. So with JJJ, right?
Triple J.
Okay, with Triple J, I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Too. I think he should.
It feels like a done deal.
He and True Holiday. I think it's going to be between he and Holiday.
Okay. Let's say he wins it. Well, he is the reason that they are second. They're best in the West in defense. Okay. This is going to be a defensive battle because I still say the Lakers are way underrated on defense because I don't think people have fixated, have locked into, have accepted just how high a level defensively. Listen, they just took the T-Wolves out of everything they did. How many times in the fourth quarter and overtime were the T-Wolves at the shot clock like, we can't get a shot? And you can't tell me they didn't have scores out there because they did have scores.
They did. And the thing is, Skip, when you look at Memphis and their defense, now obviously Steven Adams was a big part of that because he clogging the lane. You mentioned Triple J. You got Brooks. Desmond Bain plays defense. Tillman plays defense. They got guys that'll get after you.
Your Lakers beat them 2 out of 3 times. There is some bad blood developing.
Had them on the ropes the third time.
I agree. Had them on the ropes. And I believe that LeBron will hark back because he's got highest IQ and memory. And by the way, after the game last night,
I did hear that for everybody.
He did scouting report on every player. And then he ended it by saying with the little punctuation of, but I haven't spent a minute thinking about Memphis. Not a minute. No, he's been spending a whole lot of time.
He was the top 8 players.
He knows that, and he knows cold inside and out, and he didn't go into their weaknesses. But he even went into Luke Kennard, broke my high school scoring record.
That's because of the 3 ball.
Okay, well, because as he said, he is a laser shooter because he is, and they have acquired him, obviously, from the Clippers. Okay, so the point is, LeBron's going to remember what happened in a game last year at Memphis when they had them dead to rights. Do you remember this game? It was on December 29th, and they're up 14 late third quarter. And all of a sudden, Memphis started chipping away at it, and you and I had a little bet, a little side bet on it, and I had given you 4 points, and it was the damnedest thing I've ever watched because they came all the way back. It came down to a play with LeBron at the end with Russ in the corner, and he was trying to get the ball to Russ. It wasn't exactly like last night, but I think we have it. Here's the final play of this game at Memphis where they're about to play. Okay, so it's going to come back to LeBron, and it's going to be late in the clock, and he loses it, and then he just doesn't know what to do. He's trying to get it to Russ.
And Russ broke towards the basket and then went back.
Pulled back, and they were just on the wrong page because they were always on the wrong page from the time Russ walked in the door. And then Russ ends up fouling Desmond Bain. I needed 2 more points because you were about to cover. And Desmond Bain gets to go to the other end and go swish, swish, and I win by 5, which you gave me 4. Okay, so that's the kind of game that will stick in LeBron's craw and say, okay, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you back for this. I owe you. We owe you. And I just believe on sheer experience that that they're going to prevail in 6 games because I think this year's Memphis is a little more bark than bite, just a little bit more. They're talking it, but they can't quite walk it because Ja's not shooting the 3 ball. Because listen, when he can stroke the 3 ball, when he has a hot game, you want to talk about unguardable.
Yeah.
Because
because now you have to plug up on him, and then he can get by you. He's so quick getting by you. The thing is, Skip, how are they going to do the pick and roll? Because that's the biggest thing. Because everybody seems to have success putting the Lakers in the pick and roll. Because they don't know, do I hedge and they let the little guy shoot the ball, do that roll, then the big guy rolls to the basket. So what are they going to do? How are they going to pick that? Because Ja is tremendous. He and Triple J, him and Steven Adams, although Steven Adams won't be there, those guys are really, really good in the pick and roll. But I like the Lakers, Skip, because I think the Lakers match up better with them without Clark and without Adams being in the ball game. So we can go pretty much big for big with them.
Listen, Darvin Ham takes a lot of you-know-what on Twitter for why didn't this, where was Lonnie Walker last night or whatever, and obviously D'Lo had a bad night.
He had a bad game.
But you have so many pieces that you can plug in a Schroeder who did not start last night for D'Angelo Russell if need be. Am I right? Okay, Ant-Man had a way worse game than D'Angelo did.
He did.
But again, D'Lo had a bad game. It's going to happen. He is a scorer of the basketball, and he just didn't have it against his old team last night, right? Okay, so the point is you're now so deep with so many pieces that the defensive mindset that Darvin Ham brought with him from Milwaukee, where he was an assistant forever with Coach Bud, okay, it's starting to click in. It's starting to take hold because Jared Vanderbilt can play defense at a high level. Listen, LeBron can still play defense at a fairly high level on occasion when he needs to. And I thought he played his tail off on defense in the 4th quarter and in overtime when, as you said, he was probably pretty gassed. Okay, so the point is, I think they're a little better defensively than even Memphis is at this stage. So I think they will be able to make it hard on Memphis to consistently score the basketball.
Well, I hope you're right. But like AD is going to have to be AD. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, Triple J, he's long. He's long. He's, like you said, he's going to probably win Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay. But he's not longer and taller than AD because he's in that 6'10-ish, 11-ish range, just like AD. I think their size would be the same.
Comparable.
Now, is Triple J a little more physical?
Yeah. And he coming. And I think they know that. They know there will be no easy shots in the lane. There will be no easy layups because he's coming.
He is coming. Does he consistently play harder than we see AD play? I'll give you that. Yeah, I will give you that.
But I like what I saw from AD last night. Early in the game, he was crashing the boards. I thought he was going to get that, put that dunk back. He'd have blew the roof off the building if he'd hit that one, Skip. I don't know where he came from. But the crib, it wouldn't have been the same. He'd have got that one to go down.
He was about to body bag somebody with that one, right?
He was going to body bag everybody. I'm like, okay, AD came to play tonight. I said, that's what I needed. But he had to because Cat came to play too.
He did, especially from 3. He was playing everywhere.
He was playing everywhere.
He was.
What, he had 3 blocks?
Guys, Fox Bet Sportsbook has the Grizzlies slightly favored in this series, and they're predicting Game 1, 3.5 points is what Memphis wins by. We'll find out on Sunday.
No. Not often.
They're home.
I just picked L.A. to win the series.
You're scared.
Yeah.